there are these different beings, and we cannot classify, we cannot put everybody into one basket according to their what you have developed in the past, how you have developed in the past. But please do not look down on the Moha Charita. He may be dull. The dull one, when his mind is dull, he will develop, he has to develop more of the more calmness. When he develops more calmness, when he realizes, when he reaches the goal, then he realizes it with other abilities, with other skills also, because he develops the full jhana before he realizes. That is the nature of the moha charita. Whereas the nature of those, if they are the irritable type, the angry type, those are charita. You can see how sometimes they speak, they are very sharp, and they are and those type with along with panya charita, they can realize the path and fruition very quickly. Very quickly they realize. They just go straight in. And whereas the others, the saddha charita and raga charita, they realize, they can only realize it medium length. In other words, they will take some time before they develop. And when they develop, when they reach the goal, their abilities, their skills will also be moderate kind. So this is what the ancient monks say, according to the commentaries, what they say. But you have to try to prove it yourself. Don't accept it blindly. Right. Now, if you have any questions about these things, yes. The 10 fetters. To answer this question, first you have to know what the 10 fetters are. And we will have to take another day and to explain to you these 10 factors. Although you know what they are, you may know what you are from what you have heard last year. So we will have to wait until we do the 10 fetters, and then you will explain how. Because through jhana, when you have jhana, as I said, that you should not have the fixed idea that when the jhana only means calmness, only means tranquility, there is no wisdom. In jhana, when you have the calmness, there is also wisdom arises in the calm mind. When your mind is calm, understand, even no need for you to get into the deep jhana, even now when you calm down your mind, then you will be able to have certain good thoughts, and right thoughts in the mind can arise. There is wisdom. What is wisdom? There is mundane and supramundane wisdom too. Right understanding, right thoughts. When you begin to understand, when you begin to see cause and effect, how things relate one to one another, cause and effect, there is an element of wisdom there. So the calm mind, calmness with, when you have the concentration, calmness and awareness, then there is wisdom. And when there is this wisdom, it helps you to cut you begin to see the fetters, you begin to see the true nature. Now you saw by studying and by when you develop if you develop the full jhana, rupa and arupa, what you will begin to experience is you begin to see the true nature of the rupa and arupa conditions. And when you see that, you see the real, how the real, what you call aggregates, the panchakhandas, and you relate. There is no longer this self, only made up of these panchakhandas. The moment you see these things, you break the fetter, the first fetter. And then that is how it leads on to breaking the other fetters. And in the first three fetters, we will talk about the fetters later on. There is this, you can cling to. But remember that even those who develop the pure vipassana method can also cling to their method. And if you cling to the labeling, you don't give up the labeling, your mind is still not free. So clinging can take place. Only thing is that those who cling to calmness, and they cling to their concentration, the danger of developing to that what you call the deep jhana is when people have the wrong purpose, wrong aim in their meditation. If their aim is to develop certain powers, and with that state of mind, they cling. Their tendency, they cling to that what you call the concentration, and then they develop these powers. They cling to these powers, and this becomes the danger of clinging to the powers, and this keeps them round in the cycle. Because when they have the powers, then they become very popular, and then they use it to cari makan, and when they use these things, then impurities in their mind begin to accumulate, and so they remain in this. So there is the advantage of the pure way, without clinging. But clinging exists at what you call different levels also. Both methods also, if we are not careful, we can cling. If you cling to that method and you say this is the way, all the others are not the way, that is a ditti itself. That is a view that you cling in itself, and it is a very dangerous one also, because it can give rise to the kind of superiority feeling, you see. Yes. What you say, do not practice too much, what? No, you have to read it according to its context, If you read like that, it does not give a clear picture. Then don't practice too much. But all these have given up already. They can practice a lot, because no more attachment, at least for 2 weeks. So if you can realize within 2 weeks, no need to go back. Right? The others will come. Children will come, don't worry. No? Children, wife, they can come, and they will support you, don't worry. If they don't come, others will come. No? Yes. But the conflict arises when there is too much, when you realize, you see, when you see and you train your mind and you see everything as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Now what happens is that whilst you still have certain karma with you, you are still attached to certain things, and you do not have the sufficient merits, sufficient parami, we call this, to get out. Then, once you see everything as transient, everything as unsatisfactory, unself, the mind wants to give up, but your parami will not support it. And this is the, what you call, it puts you in a state whereby conflict may arise. Conflict may arise at home And you feel that, everything is changing, so everything is changing unsatisfactory, so you don't want to work, you give up your job. There are many people who have done that, you see. And but at the same time, they cannot continue that the full search because of the lack of their parami, the merits, the support. So again, they come back again. And so we see that from the worldly way, we see that they are neither here nor there. But actually, they have cultivated something already. They have gained something. Only because of the lack of the parami, then they still have to return to this worldly life. So, your practice, your wisdom, your aspiration should be made. And that is why when you have the balanced mind, practice moderately and not to arouse, not to have the strong clinging also to put an end to suffering. If you have this strong clinging, you want to end suffering, then you will suffer a lot. If you want to put an end to suffering, if you have this strong clinging, I want to end suffering, then still, because of this craving, because of this clinging, a lot of tension will arise also. You have your aspiration, but you have to work out this aspiration little by little, slowly, stage by stage. You see, while avoiding evil, doing good, purifying your mind. Go on, and determine. Whatever good actions that you do, you determine that it will pave the way for me to attain. And slowly, it will lead you there. Then when the karma ripens, then everything, the door is open for you. You don't have to take spana and hammer to break the door open. You see? When you want to try to, go too fast, then, like I will tell you the experience that we had when in some previous years of novitiate program, when I saw some of the novices not behaving, not making good use of their time. So I told them how the Buddha made the determination, make his firm resolution. Buddha make his firm resolution that he will not get up from his seat until he realized the truth. And what happened was, there one novice, and he had that idea also. He also, I also must make this aspiration. So he says, I will not get up, and I will not eat until I realize the truth. So he stopped eating. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, stop eating, and go and sit long time. Now, the other mental faculties are not balanced. Understand? That is how the mind gets confused. But don't worry, if the mind gets confused, don't worry. Sometimes you also, during the day, sometimes your mind also confused, isn't it? When your mind gets confused, you also talk something rubbish, isn't it? Something which have no sense, nonsense, right? Only thing is, when that state of delusion lasts for longer period, then you may behave a little bit stupid and talk nonsense for longer period of time. So leave that person alone. But remember, now we come to this issue of Sila, Dana, Sila, Bhavana. We complete the series of Dana, Sila, Bhavana. Now, to have proper Bhavana, mental culture, the importance of Sila. Sila here does not mean only precepts. Sila means also virtues. That means the yogi, the meditator, must have the virtue to be to be able to follow instruction, to take instruction, to have humility and reverence. When they have this humility, when they have this reverence, they have the respect for elders, for their teacher, then they will take instructions. When they take instructions and they change themselves, when they are pointed out something is wrong, then they have that virtue, the ability to amend themselves, to correct themselves. These virtues are very important. When we do the Mangala Sutta, we will point out to you that at a certain stage of your spiritual development, if you want to lead the spiritual life, these virtues must be there. These virtues are regarded as the highest blessing. If these virtues are not there, then you can be what you call very hard, and there is no humility, there is no reverence in the mind. Then your mind is very, what you call, stubborn-minded, very hard mind, and very difficult to tame. So what happens is this state of mind naturally begin to have fixed views. You know what fixed views are? They think it is like that, and then they do not want to accept others' view. And that ditti, if this is the danger, and the clinging to ditti, the clinging to views, that can confuse the mind. Other than that, as long as you have your sila, you have the virtues, and you follow instructions properly, and when you are pointed out certain things wrong, you correct, you change, then don't worry. If you have these things, don't worry. And some people have this idea that, meditation become mad, it makes you mad. You go and see Tanjung Rambutan and Tampoi. How many mad people actually came from meditation centers? And how many came from other sources? What are the causes of madness? Actually, madness and the state of delusion arises when already the seeds are there. When the seeds are already there, then when they go on and when they go into intensive practice, then they arouse the seed, so it comes up faster. And it ripens faster, and so when you observe this time, when you observe that your mind is confused already, then you should give up the concentration, not to get into deep concentration, because when your mind is deeply concentrated, your mind can fix onto certain idea very strongly also. So if you observe that, your mind is a bit confused now, then relax. Better to relax for a little while, and not to get into deep concentration. Understand? Yes. Yes. What? Yes. Yes. Oh yes, that's right. What the teaching says, Buddha says, is this: try to practice these paths. There are 7 factors of enlightenment. Piti is one factor of enlightenment. Sati is the first factor. Dhammavicharya, piti. Now, if you practice this factor again and again, not necessary to try to finish one sitting to attain all the jhanas. You try, see whether it is possible or not. Now, whatever wholesome factor that arise, try to develop it again and again. No? Even your mindfulness, try to develop it again and again. Then it will become stronger and stronger. This is what you call developing the path, developing the factors of enlightenment. even the samadhi, those that attain the jhanas also, they try to develop the jhana again and again. If not, at least the upachara, they also attain again and again to that level. And the piti also, no? Yes. This is the maximum. This is the lifespan of a human being. But in the Deva Loka, that there one day equivalent to this one lifetime of the human being, say 100 years. So if they live for 100 years there, it must be, how do you, so I do not know how to calculate. Now you can calculate like that. See, so you have to, in terms of the permutate, you can do the permutations, and so they live for very long periods of time. But it is not permanent also. It is not permanent there. After some time they also die. And you know how they die? Those devas that are born in the Tavatimsa heaven. Have you seen them? Anyone? Oh, I have seen. And yes, I see how they die, and then how they are born. And in the video, and I mentioned to you about Vesantara Jataka. Vesantara Jataka, the story of the past life of the Buddha, where the Buddha perfected his giving, Dana Parami. And very beautiful story. Yes? It is available, but we have to ask the Thai embassy people to get from, or some people from Thailand to get. There are six tapes, no? 6 tapes, and 2 hours each, so 12 hours. No, in Australia. Some people have got it in Australia, and so I watched that. And then I have one Thai monk to tell me what it's all about. Then after that, I read the Vesantara Jataka exactly word by word. Everything is, from the text, word by word, they act it out like that. And then we see how, what you call sakra, Lat Sakra, sakra? And he sends his, his retinue, his followers to come and help Vesantara. And that side, it is also mentioned, I think, in some of the suttas, how the devas, especially those in the high realm, in the Tavatimsa, their bodies, they are born and they have very colorful their bodies and their the clothes, very nice clothes. Brilliant one, no? But when they are about to die, then their clothes begin to fade away. And normally they don't perspire. But when they're about to die, they begin to perspire, begin to set. And but in those realms of existence, they are very happy, and they don't grow old. No sickness like that, and no need to study for examination. Tension, isn't it? And so that is the Deva realm. But they also suffer. How do they suffer? they suffer a lot in the time of when they are about to die. Because everything is so nice and so happy, pleasures, very pleasurable there. But when you just imagine, suppose we give you everything what you want now, and then after that, next Sunday we tell you have to go away. Oh, how do you feel? You feel very sad. You have to go away. But of course, because we tell you, you have to get up early and this thing, then you say, go back, go can sleep some more. But if we tell you, you can sleep as long as you like here, you can eat as much as you want, whatever you want you can do, then you are very happy, isn't it? The sensual pleasures. This in the higher realms, they are able to satisfy the senses at a higher level. That's why you call the sensual realm. They're still in the sensual realm. But before they die, the pang of death is very great, because they are departing from this sensual realm, this happy realm, and they do not know where they are going to be born, and so that pangs of the pangs of death, they are very, very, very sorrowful, very sad when they die, and so these devas also are subject to death, and then there are those devas who do not have right views, but they've done some good actions and they are born in those realms of existence, and they also have anger, they also have some jealousy, although they can help some people, but sometimes they among themselves also fight. Have you seen this? This one not in film one, this one in real life. Have you seen this? Have you seen where? No, not these rich people. We are talking about devas, still devas. Hey, sometimes you see them fighting on the road. No? Have you seen? You see? No? Yeah? You have seen? I have seen. Because in Kuala Lumpur now they don't have any procession. They don't have the deities procession. But in Malacca we still have. Now not so much anymore. Last time when they had the procession, Ong procession. Oh, when he go out for procession, and when they pass by certain temple, and if that temple is the dark one, what you call the dark one, the black one, oh, these two cannot get along together. Immediately they pass only, surely somebody will get into a trance and the medium will come out with a sword and they start fighting. And this goes date back to the time, and because in the past, although they can help other beings, but they have still this weakness, have still weakness. So some are angry. That's why some of these devas, you go and pray to them, you ask for this, you ask for that, but in return they expect something also in return, especially those people who go and ask for ampa eko and say, you please give me ampa eko, then after that you say, you give me ampa eko, I will give you, the last eko I will give you, and you say, I build you a temple. This is what you call. Actually, this is not the practice of religion. This is actually business. This is another way of, bribery and corruption. And this is what people are doing. It's an extension. And that is how some people practice religion. And instead of relying on the good actions, they go and bargain for these things. And of course, during the time of the Buddha too had at certain times, in times of calamities, in times of disaster. There was a certain time in Vaisali, and there was famine, there was drought, disaster, and a lot of sickness there, epidemic. Then the Buddha went there, and then you recite that verses. What do you recite? Yani the bhutani samakathani bummani va yani va talike. What is this verse? This is the Ratana Sutta. In this Ratana Sutta, the Buddha tells those all, he says, Yani the bhutani samagathani. Buddha says, all you beings, whether celestial or terrestrial, listen to what I have to say. And then then the Buddha says, all these beings, every day, morning and night, they give offerings to you, right? They give offerings, and then have kindness, have compassion on them. Show them your kindness and compassion. Protect them like that. And give them your protection. Then that is how. And because some of these certain devas, these head planes, they have certain power. And sometimes certain natural phenomena can also be affected by their powers. Of course, when we learn science, we learn that rain is formed by clouds, by water vapor rising and condensation, and then rain. Of course, when we learn science, we learn that rain is formed by clouds, by water vapor rising and condensation, and then rain falls, right? And it is a natural phenomena. But human beings now can make rain, isn't it? You know how human beings make rain? How? They fly in the aeroplane, and they spray some silver iodide, and then it helps to condense, and then rain only falls in certain area. Right? If human beings have that ability, what more? Certain devas have certain ability too. So when you study Buddhism carefully, you will begin to understand that certain things that happen not only due to one cause, there may be other causes also, right? Other causes also. But don't always think that rain only devas. No. There can be other causes also. But the certain devas have certain abilities, and they can bring about certain changes. And some people, they can inform some people about oncoming danger. If there's some danger, they can pre-inform you, and you can take the necessary steps to avoid that. There are certain, and these devas sometimes they are your own relatives, they are your own friends, good friends. So when you transfer merits, when you think of them, and if they are born in those good planes of existence. They associate with you, and they can help, and they can protect you. So the protection on the worldly level, we don't say that it is wrong. We don't say that it is wrong. But what the Buddhist attitude towards such beings is this, that we respect them, we give them due respect, but we should not cling. We should not cling to them, and by clinging to them, I mean that, there are some people, a little bit of problem, they will go and consult the devas, consult the medium, consult the devas. Now, no doubt you get the prescription, no doubt you get the remedies, but when you become attached, addicted to this practice, then you will not try to think, to find out what is the real cause of the problem. Because it's just like this, that when you are sick, when you get a headache, what do? The first thing you think of is the Panadol or aspirin or whatever it is. That is the first thing you think about. How many of you will think that I get my headache because too much sleeping? I sleep, and then I don't want to get up in time, don't want to get up, then suddenly when the bell rings, I can't help it, I have to rush up and quickly rush up. That's why I have cold and catch cold and all that. But if I slowly wake up in time and then warm up myself, and when the bell rings, there you are, I am already ready. So, no need Panadol. If you can change your habit pattern, you change your habit pattern. So if you change the habit pattern, you understand that the cause lies. What is the real cause, underlying cause? Sometimes due to our greed. When we eat too much also, eat too much, cause drowsiness, gives rise to drowsiness. Then when there's drowsiness, cannot study, but because we have to study, we bang our heads on that headache. So the Panadol and these other things, it's not the cure for this thing. You again and again you will get it if you don't change your lifestyle. But when you begin to become aware of the cause and effect, and you examine, look inside, and you see, this is the cause. This is the cause. So check, discipline yourself. Then the sickness is reduced, or you don't get a kind of sickness. So this is what the difference between the Buddha's teaching, going to the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha for refuge, and going to Devas for refuge. Because then the other thing is, for worldly protection, for worldly assistance, the Devas can help. But for the highest spiritual, especially with regards to the way to overcome all suffering, for your salvation, for liberation, can they help? It is not possible, because they themselves are not out of it. So that is why we say we cannot pray for our salvation. We can't pray to these devas for our salvation. We have to work out our own way. And so now you have a little understanding of those devas. And I do not know whether the Sri Lanka monks have heard of this. There is at that time, in around when the Buddha's relic A lot of Buddha's relics came from India to Sri Lanka in 1978, and I was at the airport, and there were a lot of monks receiving his relics. And when these relics arrived, and then it was exposed, there was an exposition in various cities, in various villages, and there were various phenomena taking place during that time in those various villages. And in certain place, in the Kelania, Rajamahavihar, that was the last place where the relics were kept before they sent it back to India. The last night I was told how many people have seen around the Bodhi tree, the white lights coming up there. And then in the daytime, before, when the relics were about to go out, the sky was covered by clouds. Otherwise, it would be a hot day, but it's just the canopy of clouds, but no rain. It just moved like that. And there are this kind of phenomena. And phenomena, in my association with the other older monks, they have told me how they have seen the phenomena of lights. Sometimes the lights come from one tree to another tree. Ball of light hopping from one tree to another tree. These are also some phenomena of the Devas, some radiant bodies there. When you recite Mangala Sutta, do you recite Mangala Sutta? Evang me sutang ekang samayang bhagava. Here in the Mangala Sutta, you find that a certain Deva came to approach the Buddha to find out what is the highest blessing of life. Then what happened? When the Deva appeared, what happened? The whole grove, Jetavana monastery, was illuminated. So radiant, it was so radiant. The whole place was illuminated. That is the nature of those in the higher realms, Devalokas. Understand? Yes. Wait, before you question, I will tell you that, in the past, after talking these stories about Devas in the trees and coming in the late hours of the night, a lot of novices will go to the Bodhi tree and wait there until late hours of the night. They wait for Devas to come up. And don't do that. No, you must be good. If you have good, they will appear before you. No need to wait for so long. And if you practice your mindfulness, awareness, and give metta, then no need to wait for them. They will be with you. Okay? Yes. Okay. Yes. Some of them. On the higher levels, no. But there are some earthbound ones. They can live sometime like the tree spirits. They can live around the tree, and then they have family. They have children there too. What happened was once a monk had gone there and not realizing, not aware of these things, and they had just cut the tree. And when they cut the tree, and he realized that should not cut trees anyhow. You see, advise them, because there may be in certain places certain beings. Yes.
Those devas that are mostly associated with devotees, so
There can be some earthbound ones also. They don't like to hear your voice. They don't like to hear the human voice. Very gross. Oh, not necessary. Sometimes, you have heard some stories how the frog listened to Dhamma, and then it dies. It can be born to the heavenly realm. Yes.
What I mean is that they may not be from this environment, they may be from outer space.
Okay. Outer space means what? Of course. That's why, some of these Devalokas, there are different realms, different strata, these things. Yes. Yes.
They are not lower developed. They are really far from.
That's what they say, no? Yes.
The last question is, now normally we say we can't see that. What is the reason why we can't see?
Yes. Because their bodies are of different nature. Now, your body is made up of what? Your body made up of those 4 basic elements, Pātavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. Because of the earth and water element, very gross, so you can see the structure. But can you see heat? Can you see heat element with your eyes? Can you see the gaseous elements? You cannot see. So those beings in the spirit realms, they have more of this. The earth element is of a refined nature, very fine material, and they have more of the wind and the heat element, and so you cannot see them. But what happens is that sometimes you can feel their presence, sometimes you can feel their presence, and sometimes have smell also, odor, smell also. And now again, why we cannot see them? Because of the different composition, bodily composition, and their mental process also vibrate at different frequency. So when you meditate and when you if you can tune your mind to the right frequency wavelength, then you can. That's why some people train their minds to see these beings, and they develop and they tune that they can see. But it is not really advisable for what you want to see all these things. And one monk, one elderly monk from Sri Lanka, and he was living in India for some time. I have met him, I know him sometime. He is now no more. And he used to do this. And he used to, when he meditate, and he tried to recollect the devatas. And then he sees them. And then what happened is that he kept on seeing them all the time. Everywhere he goes, he sees them. And so he do not know how to put them aside, free them from his mind. So he had this one big trouble. So he had to go back to Sri Lanka to consult some monks, And usually the procedure is this: if you have this kind of disturbance, you must determine and you must tell them that, please do not disturb me, and give metta, I will share merits with you, but please do not disturb me, leave me alone to practice the Dhamma, like that. And if you determine like this, they will not disturb you. But you must tell them like that. You must tell them firmly. Yes?
You see the lights, how big is the light?
Sometimes small, sometimes big bone, sometimes small, depending.
Maybe we are sick, we are not obvious. Because I read one newspaper in Moa, very big discussion photograph, very brilliant, they say, UFO that's on top of the tree, so that's why maybe so how.
Of course, it can come under UFO also, unidentified, because people have not identified them, but yes. Yes?
I got experience on this because last time I used to do design, and then you still have only little dot. I've seen many of those like
Yes.
got green, got red, got yellow, and then come and got sound. But each time I check, the light come out from that part, they are skeleton.
Due to some spirit, this thing, no? In the body form, yes. Yes, some yes, some of them, yes. Some fragrance have, you see, and have. And similarly, what you call the evil one, the bad ones also have some very awful smell sometimes, So whatever that's why, don't worry, and sometimes you can feel their presence, and just give metta to them, and wish them well and happy, and share in these merits, like that. Yes. You see, because if you know, you don't get frightened, you don't. But if you do not know, you think, what is this? Yes. I don't disturb them, I don't bother with them now. Last time, they come to me, and then I can, when I get sick, and then they come, and then get into sometimes trance, and then can tell my mother, I can tell them, what's wrong, and what medicine should be prescribed. And then after taking, okay already. And then my grandmother is sick also. Sometimes I look at her and I get into trance, then I tell what's wrong. And then I remember one day when, I got into trance like that, then some people come and ask, Ampad Eko. Because in that state of mind, it's like 50-50. I'm conscious of it. When I walk, I'm conscious, but I cannot control. The speech also speak something which I cannot speak, but when, but can hear, because I know that, these people are asking for digit, and then do not know what I say. Later on, they all say this number, 44, and but if you interpret the thing, now you want to take number, is it? And then, but what happened is this: when you translate 44 means, whatever problems you have, no problem. Don't worry. 44, whatever problem you have, no problem. So these people go and buy this number. They don't get. No. Yes. Yes. You see, what happened was, after that, that time when I was in Form 3, usually during exam time, and then the devas, this deity want to frequent, and then my parents were, very concerned that they want me to, complete my studies, and I say, no, so don't matter with this. So they go and call another medium to come and to tell this medium to get away. And then they tell me, you must tell the devas like this, tell them not to disturb you. And so you use the joystick to tell them, and to make determination and tell them, please do not disturb me, allow me to carry on with my work, I have studies to do, allow me to this thing. But I did not believe, when the medium gets into trance and they tell me to say this thing. So I go and take the joystick, go outside and like that. But there was nothing in my mind. I was just doing like that and keep that. When I came back, this medium was telling, says, no, you did not do the right thing. You did not do what I said. Go there again. So I said, how you know, sir? All this in my mind. So then I really go, and then this time I say, in my mind, I say it like that. Then from that time onwards, no more disturbance. No more. Otherwise, sometimes they come associate with you. Yes.
They come and disturb you or influence you?
They are good friends because they help in times of trouble. When I get sick or sometimes, I used to be very sick when I was young. Every month have a lot of all kinds of sicknesses, and due to some karma also the past. Yes.
Is it true that all of the human beings descend from the heaven? Is this a Buddhist theory?
Oh, that one we will talk later, about the Buddhist theory of how human beings came to this world, okay, and from the Abhasara Brahmaloka, yes.
This all case,
Uh,
we read about him requesting Buddha,
yes, this is Brahma Sahampati. No, not Sakra. It is Brahma Sahampati. It's not four face actually. Actually, this is how they want to depict the Brahma. This being has what you call has the ability to look, not for sight, to look and to be aware. They have greater awareness, and so also what you call this. They put this face to depict as a symbol that now God can see, like the idea. This God can see in all the direction, everywhere He knows, and He can protect, He can see all direction, So that's why they put four face. And that's why some of them have not four face, have many faces all around also. You see, this is a symbol. And then it all happened when somebody went to that hotel in in Thailand, where this was, and then go and ask for Ampa Echo and got something there. Then these people go and start this kind of practice and says, oh, this four-faced Buddha very powerful so they go and start praying, But how many of them got? How many of them did not get? Yes. Oh, yes, the Deva-like qualities. There are certain qualities, dana, sila, morality, and virtues, There is this saying, dana dadantu saddaya, sila rakhantu sappada. What? Dana dadantu saddaya. Bhavana virata hontu Gachantu devata gata. That means if you practice dana, you do dana with saddha, with confidence in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and you observe sila, always observe sila, restrain your speech and body action, and then Bhavana virata hontu, then always think of purifying and culturing your mind. Then Gachantu devata gata, then you can go like the devas. You can go to the devas, company of devas. Understand? That is if you do not, if you do not realize the supramundane goal, then you will be born and you go together with them. Understand? So these deva-like qualities, when you have these qualities in you, the compassion, the kindness, metta, karuna, mudita, these are also the Brahma viharas. We will also talk these things later on. And this is what the Brahma, the four-faced Brahma must symbolize this. One, metta, karuna, mudita, upekka. Next time they come to tell you where the four-faced Buddha is, then you explain metta, karuna, mudita, upekka. If you practice this, they will surely be prosperous. Sure. You can say guarantee. No need number this one. Metta, bring friend. Karuna, compassion. You give help to others, then in return you will get help in times of difficulty. Mudita, when others are happy, you share in the joys. You are not jealous. When you are not jealous, then there's no tension. Then you will not have so much enemies. It's because of your jealousy. If you are jealous, then people also become jealous of you too, as a result of cause and effect. And that is how you have a lot of enemies like that. Upekka, equanimity. When you have equanimity, whatever problem that you have, then you can think in terms of, when you think in terms of karma, then your mind can be set in equanimity. So, no problem. Whatever problem you have, you can solve the problem. Real prosperity, real protection. Metta, karuna, sahampati, S-A-H-A-M, sahampati. But you see, we cannot take too literally about this Brahma sahampati come to ask the Buddha, as if the Buddha do not know that he will preach. We need Brahma to ask. Because you must understand that during the time of the Buddha, there was this lot of Brahmins, a lot of Brahmins. And so the Buddhist monks, they would like to promote Buddhism among the Brahmins. And how to promote this? So when they introduced this idea, your Brahman came, to pay homage to the Buddha and request the Buddha to preach, And then the Brahmin say, oh, is that so? Oh, a Brahma asked, so we must also listen. And but in another discourse, actually, the Buddha has mentioned how the Buddha has gone to the Brahmaloka and saw the Brahmans, Mahabrahmans, and all his retinue, his followers. Then Mahabrahma thought he is the creator, he is all powerful, he is everything. Buddha went there, said, you are deluded. You have delusion. And then start to preach to him, and then he realized that Sakra is the head. Lord Sakra, you pray what? Ting Kong. You say, The Chinese pray to? What? Ti Kong, Ting Kong. Yes. No, that is another deity. And that Lord Sakra is considered as the head, as the chief of the 33, isn't it? Tower things of heaven. The head of the tower things of heaven. And he has powerful. he has his what you call kaki tangan, and he can send his kaki tangan here and there to help others, subordinates.